Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to another episode of Building Muster Minutes. It's been a bit sporadic lately. I apologise for that. We're going to try and get back into some sort of routine soon. It's episode 45, and I think today we're going to work on fixing a bug that I identified in the last couple of streams. Again, I haven't done much on this project since last stream. Last stream would have been, I think, Monday last week, so it's been about a week. I've done a couple of commits on this project. You can see here I did one a couple of minutes ago. I did a profiler, so that commit there is just a small change to add the rack mini profiler. I've done that. It adds this little kind of thing in development in the top left corner that tells us how long it takes to load a page. So if I go navigating around, I don't know if it works with Hotwire. I think I have to Command R refresh to bring that back, but once we've got that, you can refresh here. It shows us kind of the timing information. We can go in here and actually click around and get information about kind of SQL queries and all sorts of stuff like that. I do need to spend some time at some point doing a bit of a performance optimization work through on this. And as you can see here, it's not great right now. We're making 17 SQL queries for the participant list, and most of them are just getting each speaker one by one, and sometimes adding much time to the total query. So I'll resolve that at some point, but that's not going to be the focus of today. Again, yeah, there's those same queries. So a couple of things I need to think about there. But that's one of the commits I've done. Other commits we've done recently, or I've done recently off stream, are adding the New Relic observability. I switched over server last week. So we were running in DigitalOcean. I've now moved over to Hetzner. And what's this notification? I get so distracted. I get that. And yeah, switched over to Hetzner as the server provider. I needed more RAM, you know. I was running on like the lowest level droplet I could find on DigitalOcean, and for the near enough the same price, in fact I think a little bit cheaper, on Hetzner, I can have 4 gigabytes of RAM instead of 1 gigabyte. I can have 2 vCPUs rather than 1 vCPU. You know, much better. It's not what I expected to be. So, Hetzner it is. And as part of that also, I needed some observability. We were using AppSignal before, but my AppSignal trial expired and I didn't know if I really wanted to spend some money on it, so I thought I'd try a couple of other options. And we'll see. I might switch back to AppSignal. I think there is some really nice stuff they've got specifically for Rails and AppSignal, but New Relic does kind of the job for now. I think for me, it's a little bit too much, to be honest. But we'll see. I'm not, as we kind of build it out and launch this more, I think we will maybe investigate those options more, whether it's worth investing in one of them in. The other one I was debating checking out was Get Sentry. You know, that seems like an interesting one. But we'll see. I mean, New Relic gives me a bunch of stuff on per server basis, so that's always good. In fact, I was just loading that now. I can bring that over. I can share this. Oh, actually, is there? Yeah, no, that's fine. So you can see here, this is New Relic. This has the server. You can see kind of memory usage and CPU usage. CPU wasn't really a problem on the DigitalOcean server, but I did need to up the memory because we were like near 90% the entire time. And so this just runs it differently. And yeah, quite cool. Happy with that. So I added the New Relic observability. That's a simple gem, and then some config, you know. The other thing I did last week, or yesterday actually by the looks of it, is updating the prompt. So I've made a few tweaks to the prompt, trying, you know, improve the quality of what we're getting out from the minutes. I did use this yesterday for a set of minutes that I was writing for the airfield. And yeah, that's that. I'll just adjust my chair, and then I think we're going to run an ad. I'm actually just quickly drop off a second to grab a quick drink because I need some water. And then when I get back, we will jump into participants because there is a bug I've noticed. And that was the other reason I opened GitHub, right? We're going to quickly just check over the GitHub issues. We've got 5 GitHub issues at the moment. Speaker generation, I think, is the key that we need to check into. I think we were running into that last week. And I also need to decide how to handle the manually entered text in the transcription editor. So those are kind of 2 big ones at the moment. And yeah, cool. I'll be back in a moment and then we'll get to it. I'm back, and yeah, let's get jumping back into it. What did I do here? I added the profiler commit. I just did that. And I think the first issue we're going to look into, we need to kind of reproduce this in some way. So how is going to be best to do that? The issue we want to take a look at is this one that I kind of had a concern about here, which is the speaker generation. So speakers, these speakers here, they all have IDs. So there'll be speaker 1, speaker 2, speaker 3, speaker 4, speaker 5, speaker 6, 7, 8, like that. And that's stored in here as well. So I don't know if it shows it in the in here. I'm going to turn off the shields, you know, because that's causing New Relic to not receive any information. I don't think I have. Yeah, it doesn't actually render it to the view, but one of the things you'll see, I suppose, on the select is that these all have speaker _0, speaker _1 as their values. I wonder if it makes more sense to actually create those in the database and replace the IDs when we digest the transcript, you know. So the problem at the moment, let me explain the problem I'm forecasting here. Let's say we have a meeting with 3 speakers, and we can go through and we might decide to remove everything the second speaker says. It could be the first, but we'll say second. So in this case, Bobby, like if we went through this transcript, it's quite a long transcript, so maybe this would be easier to demonstrate if we had a short video of like 3 people speaking. Short 3-person audio clip that we can perhaps take. I wonder if there's like audio recording of 3 people's. It's a very random, you know, search. I could just go through and find everything that Bobby says. Anyway, let me do the theory and then we'll find a way of doing a practical example of it. If I removed everything Bobby said in this meeting, all the utterances that are in here, the segments, they would all still be tied to speaker 1, and then like everything that speaker 2 said wouldn't be there. So the total count of speakers would now be 1 less. Problem is this right hand side is calculated based on the total number of speakers rather than exactly what speaker IDs are referenced in here. That causes a problem. Because, why does that cause a problem? Because, well, this would still be speaker 1, this would still be speaker 2, except we don't have anything that speaker 2 is saying in here. And so the names would all become a little bit odd, right? Is what I'm saying. We would lose the last speaker. Julian would be gone from the list. And everyone else would shuffle up, right? Kind of, but kind of not. Like, this is where it gets a little bit confusing as to what I've done here. And I do need to build a bit of a practical example to be able to just demonstrate this. I guess I can if I duplicate this meeting or upload the Rails World episode again, get it transcribed, and then delete everything below here. So we just have Chris, Bobby, and Jasmine. And then we can see what happens. Let's run through it. Let's do that. Testing speakers. I don't know. 18th, 3rd, 2024. Let's say we've had this meeting this morning or this lunchtime. We're going to load up that recording, create the meeting, analyze the audio. We're going to get it transcribed. And then once we have paid for our transcription, we will generate the transcription. This is a very slow request for some reason. This shouldn't be a slow request. This should be a fairly quick request because we should just be navigating. We should be kicking off a job and then navigating to the transcription page. Suspicious. Suspicious. Well, I think I've broken something somewhere along the way. Yes, it would appear... I mean, if I refresh this, what happens now? Feels like we're hanging. I don't really know why. Build transcription. Transcription save. What's going on? What's going on? I'm gonna restart the server because that seemed like it hung, like it had a process, couldn't do something or other. Okay, it says transcription in progress. Again, I can't view that page. There's the webhook saying it's done, but oh, don't load that because I think that something on that page is killing the server when it's not got a meeting. Okay. We can go here. We've got a 500 error. Uninitialized constant AWS transcribe output. Well, this would be that. That's not going to be helping. I think I need to pop into the AWS console, which probably isn't logged in, is it? I'm going to have to log in separately. And I've restarted my machine this morning, so I have to, you know, just log into everything. It's annoying. That's annoying. But we'll get there. Okay. Okay. Do I not have my MFA? Yes. Here we go. So SNS comes this one. This one. Is it going to try again? I guess is the question. I need it to try again because let's throw this up there so I can switch between those pretty quickly. I need this to try again. Just confirm. There's the topic. I don't see any way of seeing like actually what's been sent on the topic. There's the redrive, delete queue, delivery policy. This is tied to an S3 bucket. It will no doubt be 152. That's the one that we've done today, yes. And then, no, I don't want to create a folder. I'm going to upload that same thing to that bucket. Okay. I've changed this line. Line 13 in the webhook controller. No, apparently I haven't. Bugs that weren't planning on fixing, that I didn't realise existed. Can I just throw that in there and upload? I just replace the one that was there before, the 152. .json. Yes. So now that works. I can view the transcription. There's something weird about viewing the transcription before, you know? But anyway, let's do this. Let's take, I think we can, we'll have up to speaker 3, I think, and then I think what we can do is just delete everything there. So now we're down to 4 speakers essentially. We've got 0, 1, 2 and 3. Now if I went through and perhaps just, I mean, if I refresh at this point, I now have 0, 1, 2 and 3. Speaker 0 that's a couple of times. Speaker 3 I need to leave as the last speaker, because if I do it to the last speaker it doesn't matter. I think if I change speaker 2, change this one to speaker 1 or speaker 3. Speaker 2 now speaks once. If I change speaker 2 to be speaker 0, or even just delete that line, but speaker 0 is fine, we see something a little bit weird. We lost speaker 3. So this is kind of what I expected to happen. We lose speaker 3, but then speaker 2 becomes a silent speaker because there are effectively no speaker 2. And so that's the wrong behavior. I got rid of speaker 2. It should be speaker 3 here. Yeah. I need to be right back. Thank you for thanks for waiting, if you did. And let's get back into it. So yes, when we remove speaker 2 by changing it or deleting, Gaming Forever, hey man, how's it going? Thanks for coming. Yeah, so when I remove speaker 2, we don't actually lose speaker 2 over here. What happens is we lose speaker 3, and everything that speaker... I mean, it still says speaker 3 here, but this list here gets confused. I'm good, you? Yeah, I'm good, thank you. I'm good. I'm currently working on Muster Minutes, which is a app that I've been building where you can upload a meeting recording and it will use Amazon to transcribe that meeting. As you can see here, kind of the transcription of what people said. This is a podcast episode that I'm currently transcribing. And then there'll be a button at the bottom once you've done that to generate some minutes based on that. So you can add your agenda here about what you talked about and then generate the minutes at the bottom. And so if I jump across to one that I've kind of filled out already, you go through the transcription, work out what all the people said, and then at the very bottom, and obviously I've filled out the agenda here as well, and then you have the option of creating the minutes. That will go ahead and use ChatGPT, OpenAI to kind of come up with some minutes for that meeting. And yeah, I got here during the break. Ah, I see. No worries. Thank you for waiting for me. Yeah, so then you get kind of a minutes like this. How long have you been working on the app? Well, I've been working on this for, what are we on, episode 45? So I've been building this out on stream. So every stream I've been doing it. So 45 episodes. I normally stream for about a few hours, 3 hours, probably 3 to 6 hours. Sometimes shorter, sometimes longer, I suppose. So I don't know, maybe 4 hours average, 45. Probably got 180 hours building this now, but some of that is probably not that much productive time and stuff. So I don't know, what's that if I did that as like a 30 hours a week, 6 weeks maybe, if I was like full-time working on it. I started it sometime. What are you using to build it? So I'm using Ruby on Rails as the kind of framework that I'm using. Ruby on Rails is the framework I'm using, the Ruby programming language. And then a sprinkle of JavaScript with Hotwire Turbo. Amazon for the transcription, using AWS Transcribe, and then OpenAI ChatGPT to generate the minutes. And then for the transcription editor I've built here, we're using ProseMirror with the library. I like your accent. Where are you from? I'm from England. Thank you. I hate my accent. I hate my voice, you know. I think everyone does when they listen back to their own voice. Whereabouts are you from?
Have you any remote?
We're live.
What part of England? Lincolnshire, around that part. East Midlands, I suppose. But my family are mostly from the south of England. But I've grown up East Midlands, Lincolnshire kind of way. Oh, I'm also... Okay, cool. Nice. Okay, so that's fixed that bug. Fix. Incorrect. I'm just trying to be funny. Fair enough. I was gonna say, like, surely the accent would be very similar. I might just say dinner rather than tea, though. You're from South Africa. That's nice. That's cool. Yes. I've never been to South Africa, but I'd like to go at some point. Transcribe output. I can't type. There we go. Make sure you come to the good parts. Where are the good parts? I have my private pilot license, and I would really like to come to South Africa at some point and do one of those like fly-in safaris. Places with the least poverty. Like Cape Town, Johannesburg. Durban. Yeah, I feel like Cape Town and Joburg would be the two that I'd want to go to. I need to work out how I want to handle this then. I think the main problem here is I'm calculating this list of speakers based on the IDs rather than actually what speakers are in there. I don't live anywhere close to them though. Fair enough. So the main problem here is the participant list model does this. It's because we're relying on the number of speakers. Yeah, I'd like to come to England. Any recommendations? Depends on what you're coming to England for. I mean, obviously London. London's the one that is everyone wants to go to, right? See all of the big things like Big Ben and Millennium Wheel and all those kind of landmarks. That was the word I was trying to search for, but you know. London has all the big landmarks that everyone thinks about. Depends what you're looking for though. I think like Cotswolds for work or just vacationing, exploring. Cotswolds are probably quite nice, like somewhere with like good scenery. I wouldn't recommend Lincolnshire, especially not like. Yeah. There's not much going on in Lincolnshire. It's a big county. And London you could easily spend like a week, a month in. I don't think where else might be. Yeah, I don't know where I'd recommend for like someone abroad coming to the UK. Trying to think of something other than London, but I'm like, Currently studying to be a doctor. Maybe I'll head to England for work. Okay, cool. Cool. I mean, there are loads of nice places in the UK, in England. So... Cambridge is nice. Like Cambridgeshire, Cambridge. Thinking like Brighton. How's Medcare in England? It's okay. We have the NHS, obviously. There's some pros and cons to it. I don't know if it's worth digging into in this in the stream, but Northern England's better part of England. Yeah, there's some good highlights in Northern England. Cheaper cost of living as well. If you're looking for like work and living, like Northern England is definitely cheaper. London is an expensive place. Transcription. I wonder if I do like segment. I bought my first house last year for 165k. Where else was that? 3-bedroom basement, etc. Wow. I'll beat north. Good value, but it's also the north, so it's, you know. The only problem is just transport. I mean, transport's still okay, I suppose. I don't know. Cumbria's nice, actually. Okay, if I can get all the transcription segments. And then I want to kind of get the unique speakers. I guess I could group by the speaker ID and then grab the first speaker. There must be a nicer way of writing that on Rails though. In Rails, I want to take an array of items, group, and get given property of each hash in the array. Not far away from the lakes, 1 train away from Glasgow, Edinburgh, Newcastle, Manchester. I just find that a lot of the time, like I have a lot of work stuff that's like London bound. And friends as well. That's the biggest thing, I think. It's just like you end up building alive around the area. I don't know. I find it really hard to move anywhere. Like even if I was like, oh, I'll just leave England, I think connections are difficult, right? Yeah, 4 hours to London. I could map them all and then unique, but then I don't want. I think I need group by. Unless unique can take no, you're not understanding ChatGPT. You're not understanding. Ruby unique. Is it UNIQ? There we go. Unique can take a block. How's the application coming on? It's going along well, thank you. I think we're kind of, again, death by 1,000 paper cuts is like the last 20%, 80% of the work. And I've also been a bit stop-start lately, so that's not helped. Just had other things going on that I've had to come up that I need to deal with, so haven't had much time for streaming or for building this app. The current thing we're currently working on is this bug where if I change speaker 2 to like speaker 0 or something, you notice on the right hand side we still have speaker 2 and we lost speaker 3. Speaker 3 is still in the content down here. So there's a weird bug here, and the reason for that is that in my participant list I rely on the total speakers. This is kind of a shortcut I took early on, and it doesn't really work because the total speakers obviously changes when you remove a speaker. So we can't just create IDs based on. I mean, this is the reason why in React you're not supposed to use the ID, the index as the key. It leads to weird issues like this. So I'm now having to try and fix that. And I think what I'm doing is trying to work out how I can take these transcription segments and just generate the IDs based on those. In fact, participant list. I think what we will do here is we'll change this and we'll say transcription.segment.unique. And then speaker segment. I wonder as well if I can just do and speaker label. I might try that in console first, actually. Rails C. Transcription dot last. Yes. T equals transcription dot last. We'll load that in, and we'll do t dot segments, which gets us that. T dot segments dot unique and speaker ID. I think it's speaker ID. Not speaker. What do I want? Is it speaker? Segment. Speaker underscore ID. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Count. So there's 4 because there's 4 speakers. If I didn't do that, then that would have been that. So now I have the segments and then I can just grab the... Burnt myself out trying to learn Rust. Ah, ouch. Sometimes you just have to ride the wave of enthusiasm for something and then just see where it goes. And then not feel too bad when it ends and hope that, you know, maybe it'll come back. If it doesn't, then maybe there's a reason. What am I doing here? I can map. What I'm really trying to do is that. Does that really work? I've done nothing project-wise lately. Yeah, I think we all go through those phases. Undefined method speaker label. That's because it's not speaker label, it's speaker ID. We worked this out somewhere else. So now when I change this to speaker 0, nice. Total speakers. That actually is quite nice. I didn't realize I'd be able to solve that just by doing that one line. Take all the segments, find the unique speaker IDs, map them to the speakers, and then the segments are taken care of creating a new speaker. That also takes care of this. I think I need an ampersand there, because if this is null, then I can't map it. So. And I guess here as well. Also, like, why bother having this extra line when I could just do that? Transcription data dig. Map. And then it will return null otherwise. I'm happy with that. That looks good. If I refresh, it still works. Need to resolve this, you know? This is very slow. Like, what's taking the longest time here? It just seems like it's taking a long time before it even decides to pick up the query, because it says these things are pretty quick. 54 milliseconds, 9.4. Like, I need to learn a bit more how to use that. See, now it's quick. I don't know what's going on there. Yeah. Okay, cool. So I'm happy with that. That looks good. And then participant list. Are we using this? Can I delete total speakers now? Because I kind of have it in the transcription. Like, this should really be on the transcription, not the participant list. I guess if I delete it and see what happens, we'll just refresh and see what happens. Again, slow query. Like, what are you doing? Oh, it's a template error. Okay, makes sense. You know, I kind of expected there to be something wrong with it. Participant list. Total speakers. Mm-hmm. Okay, fine. Well, I think we fixed the bug that we needed to fix anyway. Just having a think whether there's anything else that I need to do there. I think that is the fix, right? Fix. When fix. What am I even fixing? Like, describing this bug is actually quite difficult. Caused when deleting, when removing inner speaker. What issue have we got this on? 19? 19? Okay. That's resolved that issue. Yeah, I think I've been going through a little bit of the burnout on some of the projects lately as well, you know. Sometimes you just need to take a little break away from them and see whether the spark rekindle the spark for them. And ability to edit and see the start time of the meeting. I do need to do that. I think this one's an interesting one that we need to solve, which is I now need to be able to create a new speaker, right? So if I went in here and was like, oh, it's missed out on speaker 4. Oh, this was said by speaker 4. How do we add another speaker? That's annoying, isn't it? So I guess we need to solve this problem. So how do I want to do about that? I feel like it makes most sense here right now. Like there needs to be some way of going in here and going, oh, speaker 4. That's the most direct way. I could add something over here. It's like add a speaker and it adds to this list. So you'd add this to the list here and then you'd go over here and it would be in the drop down. I think that flow would also make sense you'd want to do, but this is the more direct add speaker in here. One of the things I'm thinking about here as well is I know Hotwire combo box. There's a, as this is not where I wanted to go, but you know, I wanted to go to the GitHub repo. There is this Hotwire Hotwire combo box. I might want to explore. Show the clear widget. So I think there is a discussion or something I saw about additions. I'm pretty sure Jose tweeted something about. That's not the one. There was something he tweeted recently. This one. Where did this discussion get to? It's closed. Let's continue it here. 15. Oh, because it's now on discussions. I see. I think this is essentially. I think it makes sense to use something like this rather than building my own combo box. Building my own select drop down combo box is going to be a real pain. And I think what I want to be able to do in here is have something like I can select down here, speaker 4, and I just type, you know, Jeff, Jasmine, Rachel, whatever the person's name is who's going to be speaker 4. And then it's going to have to do a bunch of stuff. Off the back of that, it's going to have to look at the list of speakers, work out what one is the next speaker ID by looking at all of the IDs, incrementing the ID by 1 or whatever, you know. Green empty blank state would be nice. Would be great to support passing in both some text or rendering options. Welcome PR. So what was in here? So this was like someone had done a request and here's what they were trying to recreate. This is a Stripe UI screenshot. And above the list of autocomplete options, there's an area where additional content can be injected. In this case, they use it to inject add new customer button. I could also do a modal pop-up, you know, but I just don't, it doesn't need to be that complicated. We just need the string, the free text of whatever they've put. Maybe I could get behind a generic top of list slot. A generic top of list slot might make sense if you can also access some of the data in there, you know? In our use case, we definitely require an explicit add new option. There can be matches in the existing options that are not the ones the user is looking for and hence needs to add a new one. So you have several combinations, full list with add new option, filtered list with add new option, Empty list / state of add new option. There is a suggestion from us to have a slot for this while rendering makes sense. Each one of these display this option, so there's no logic needed for displaying the option. The second is by using a slot, the complexity of rendering a button handling interactions wholly outsource the contents of the slot. We simply host an optional slot, that's all. A slot that links to a new flow when linked, clicked. See, I don't know if it... In my case, I don't need it to go to a new flow. We're going to stay in the same flow. We want to make use of the free text input. It might be worth just trying to see if we can build a version of this that uses the combo box to replace these drop downs right now. We might even struggle with this just because we've got like inside it, these drop downs are inside our ProseMirror view. So, you know, there's kind of doubling concerns there. Oh, I didn't get the right one. Can I jump back to GitHub somehow? No. We'll add that. And then this approach works so all set up. Simply add the style sheet to your layout, and then you just use this helper. The problem I have as well is the helper. I can't use that helper in that way because I'm going to be doing this in JavaScript. Because the place where I do this is the ProseMirror view, segment view. This is the code we have at the moment. So I would need to look at how that helper is structured and what that helper is doing. Is it presenter? Is it libs? Render component and block. That component is here. So Legend Monkey 1, what a track. Excuse me? What? Are you do you know each other? Are you being friendly there? Or is this There's no need for that. Unless you... I'm sorry, mate. There's just no need. I mean... You can't really comment with your username either. I mean, Lego's good, but... League of Lego Boy 99? What if we're talking about trash usernames? Thank you for apologising. I don't know if he's still here, to be honest. It might have gone. Now, what was I trying to do? The light mode GitHub editor jump scared me while browsing. I try to use GitHub in dark mode. I don't know why. Something about GitHub light mode. Thank you for the follow, by the way. Yeah, something about dark mode on GitHub. I'm gonna try it again because you're right. Everything else I have, you know, this is dark mode. Yeah, I don't even know what the setting is. It settings? I've got to be careful here about what I show, haven't I? Appearance, dark default. I think my problem is because I have my browser as like a light mode anyway. Generally, websites I'm visiting are in light mode, and so I have light mode browser Chrome, and it just feels wrong when you're using a dark mode website. I don't think I visit any websites in dark mode. Yeah, software I use usually always has dark mode. Thank you for dropping by though, and thank you for the follow. I'm sorry for the jump scare. I'm currently looking at this hotwired combo tag as part of this hotwire combo box library that I intend to use. But it's really designed by the looks of it to use this Rails helper. And so I'm trying to figure out how it renders. It calls the hotwire combo box component. That looks like it's in here somewhere. Presenters, maybe? Yes. Which part of England are you from, by the way? I keep forgetting accent regions other than Cockney and Scousers. I keep getting asked about my accent today. I don't know what that's about, but I'm from like East Midlands, Lincolnshire, South Lincolnshire. But both my parents are from South England. I just grew up in they moved to South Lincolnshire when they were young. Yeah. This looks quite complex to be able to do as a it shouldn't really be. But there is a lot going on here. And there's a lot of hey, thank you. Someone joined the Discord server. I don't have much on my Discord server right now, but I do have notifications on there when I go live, and I intend to use it a bit more over time. But if anyone has any questions or want to get in contact with me outside of stream, then that's a good way of doing it. If ever, I'm always happy to help if people have questions on stuff. I think I have /mod Discord command. You know, if Stream Elements ever wants to, you know, sometimes Stream Elements just doesn't even bother turning up. What else? You know, I'll find the link somewhere in the bio description-y bit below. Somewhere down there, you know. Is it work now? Because I've logged into Stream Elements. There we go. Sometimes it just needs a right good kick. You know, I don't usually recommend kicking things, but Stream Elements, okay to kick. And yeah, if you're just joining, I'm currently working on Muster Minutes, which is an app that I've been building on stream for the last 45 episodes or so. And it allows you to upload a recording, either a video recording or audio recording, and get that transcribed using AWS. And then we're building a transcription editor around that, which is what we're currently working on. Can you see here? That does stuff like when, I'll turn the volume down because this will be really loud, but it will do things like highlighting the text as it's spoken. I think I have to refresh.
We're live.
No, apologies for the very loud audio.
Yes.
It'll highlight the word as you're going through it. You can go in here and fix stuff if there was.
Chris.
Our least popular co-host.
That is true. He is the least popular.
We are with our new most famous co-host.
You can go in, this is all free text, you can just rich text, but obviously those words I've just added won't get highlighted. And yeah, you can go in here, you can rename these speakers, so if you knew this was Chris or whoever it might be, you can be like, oh, that's Chris. That'll then go updated down here. There's a bug where it changes the size of the speaker, I need to figure that out. And yeah. What we're currently trying to do is add the ability to add a speaker. So I'm trying to work out what the best way of doing that is. Oh, and then the actual main purpose of transcribing it is to actually generate some minutes based off the back of it. So once you have done all of that, you can come down here, and I think I did one today, or one of these meetings. We'll do the Gumroad one. One of the things you can do after this is you can click create minutes. This is another meeting that I've downloaded. This is a Gumroad board meeting. They upload some of their board meetings to YouTube. So I downloaded one of them and uploaded it to the platform. This is the transcription. I've added in the agenda roughly that they talked about and also named the speakers. Then you have the option of creating the minutes. So you press that button. It uses ChatGPT to generate those minutes and turn those transcriptions into the meeting overview, which it does here. So this uses ChatGPT to kind of pull that together. I've got a bit of a prompt that I've written that does this using the transcription and also the agenda. And yeah. Might try out some minutes from a board I'm on when it's available. Yeah, that'd be cool. Still trying to work out a couple of kinks in it, but yeah, it'll be available at some point. It's the plan, and I think I'm just going to set it up so it's simple. Like there's not one to do subscription or anything like that, but you just pay per minute of audio is the plan. So as you're going through the flow, there's like a payment gateway bit, but it'll be low cost since it's just covering the cost of transcription and the OpenAI credits as well. OpenAI credits can cost a bit depending on the length of the meeting, so you can obviously add up. The reason I'm building this is because I spend some time volunteering as secretary for our local aero club as a committee member, and so I have to write monthly committee meeting minutes, and I got a bit fed up of doing that, so I ended up building this. You know, as you do. What front end are you using for Rails, by the way? I'm using just Hotwire. I'm not really doing any React or anything like that. So this is all Hotwire, mostly just vanilla JavaScript. So Turbo for the navigation, and then Stimulus for some of the interactions. I don't really have too many stimulus controllers. I mean, if I go into application JS, I've got a couple of controllers, something for conditional fields. What did I even use this for? Oh, this is because I have a conditional field here. So when you add the meeting, if this is in the past, then it will show you the upload field. So as soon as the time is in the past, that's conditional. This next field's conditional. So that's what I used there. I have the equals one, but that was mostly just to test. What else do I have in here? I got dialog controller because obviously this is a modal, so there's a bit of a controller. That's really simple again. It just gives me the ability to add that modal. It actually just closes the modal and open the modal. I've got an ability to remove elements. That comes in useful in a couple places. Form reset, post hog for just setting up some stuff. I have sortable JS, which is just using the sortable JS library for doing the agenda. Has a drag drop interface. If I go back to one where there is meeting agenda, not that one. I will find it eventually. Meeting with speakers. This is all drag drop, so I can take these around and move them around. Same with the inner items, or I can move them up and out or wherever they need to be. And then the largest chunk of all of the JavaScript front end stuff is the transcript editor, of which we're using ProseMirror as our kind of rich text editor. So that is the largest chunk of the JavaScript. It's really this central core bit here. But again, not very, quite lightweight. I guess this is where the current issue that I'm looking at starts to crop up, because I'd like to have a way of going in here and adding a new speaker. And so every time there's a weird new thing, I have to come up with like a slightly new solution to this. Especially because now we're inside a ProseMirror view. We have this current custom segment view class that is given to ProseMirror, which will render our kind of segment. Each one of these with the lines next to them are the segments. So this is a segment by Chris, this is a segment by Chris, this is a segment by Jason. And inside that, I'm rendering a select drop down, and actually that code here looks a bit gross right now. I'm not happy with this style of writing front end. I'm using document.createElement, and then I'm kind of modifying that select input, and then I'm looping for all the speakers and creating the options. It's just something about it is less to be desired. And I'd like to, change this up a little bit. I want to be able to add a new option here, which is like a free type text field. And I'd quite like to use the Hotwire combo box. But the Hotwire combo box works assuming that you're going to be rendering it from Ruby in the back end. But I'm doing my rendering these elements in the front end. And so I need to spend some time thinking on that. I could perhaps put this into a template. But That also felt a bit weird. So, what wire combo box initialize, and then it has a render in. It does have a partial, which is interesting. So this is the other thing. Like, this is quite a complex element that gets rendered with a bunch of tags. I'd have to recreate those tags in JavaScript. This stream is going to be mostly me just staring at the screen, thinking about how I want to solve this problem. I'm going to jump back to this meeting because it just has less speakers and it's just a bit easier for me to test what's going on. I mean, I could do a really basic version of this to run first. Let's do the basic version. Let's just code like a crappy first version of this behavior and then worry about what the front end looks like afterwards. And so for that, I think what we would do is something in here, right? What is going on here? What's this if? What's that for? If speakers find speaker value is equal to the current, so if this is the current speaker, if the current speaker is not defined, I see. So this is basically saying, okay, like if we can't find the current speaker that's set for this segment, then we're going to add that in because it has to be there. This one is saying loop for all of the speakers. And this one's saying if we didn't include ourselves in that, then we need to add ourselves. And I think we're going to do this like... Let's add a comment here because I think this is confusing. Add current speaker if it's not in the list. I mean, ChatGPT, Copilot, whatever, knew what that was. So I prefer if current segment speaker not in list. Oh god, caps lock. I'll do that. I think I prefer that rather than what I had before. If segment speaker not in list, we'll add it to the list. Next thing we'll want to do is add a new speaker option. So I think we're just gonna have this as like option. Add new speaker. value is speaker new, and then we'll just append it, right? So that should now add new speaker new. You know, I've broken it now. I've definitely broken it now. Well, I haven't, because I'll just do that. Right. Because we don't actually want to change that if that's the speaker, so we need to skip it. So if okay, we'll just see what, you know, Copilot comes up with. We were doing this the dodgy way. This is the change speaker events. This is the event handler for the select dropdown. So we currently grab the selected speaker out of its value. Then here we just check if it's speaker underscore new, that special value that we set before. We will grab the new speaker name by asking for a prompt. And if the speaker name, see this is wrong. This doesn't work. This doesn't work. Const next speak ID speaker's length. I guess that makes sense if we have this anyway as array, right? So then I could do this view dispatch. Maybe I'll change this to let. I'm back, my English friend. Welcome back. How's it going? Selected speaker will now be speaker underscore plus this dot speakers dot. So good. How's the app going? It's going okay. Fixed a couple of bugs, and now I'm trying to add this new speaker option. So if we go down here, add new speaker. Now what's interesting here as well is I'll also need to add. You're using Ruby on Rails, right? Yes. Yeah. Speaker 4. Add new speaker. Is that also set like $0.value? Actually, is set to speaker 4. How do I get it? What do you mean? Ruby on Rails? I have a website, rubyonrails.org. That has a bit of a kind of walkthrough guide on setting it up and using it. It's a video. I think they are currently rebuilding the docs. So they're spending some time on that. The Rails guides are going to get redesigned and updated. And then also I think they're redoing the tutorial as well. But yeah, I guess reading the guide's probably good. But the other place, like, if you're like I don't know what your skill level is and stuff like that. But there is the Odin project. Yeah. I think they have a Rails track. I haven't gone through this, but I've known a couple of people that have done some stuff on here and they enjoyed it. So yeah, there's a Ruby on Rails track in here on the Odin project. And I have a couple of projects saying building a blog, building Reddit, a members flight booker, all sorts of stuff like that. Quite a cool place to check out. It doesn't give an option to download or so on. Am I a bit of an idiot? What's they saying? If you go on guides, get started with Rails. This will go through a bit of a lengthy setup. This sets you up with kind of creating a new Rails project, installing Ruby. Often Ruby's already installed on Mac. It's probably already installed. SQLite you'll need, or another database, depending on what you're going to use. And then use gem install Rails in your kind of terminal to install it. There's also, yeah, if you're on Windows, then there's a Ruby installer, so you'll need this or something similar to be able to install Ruby. Yeah, so that guide with getting started will kind of walk through installation on whatever system setup you're on. That was clever. I just pressed Command Q on the window that had Twitch on it. Okay, thanks. No worries. So adding a new speaker kind of works, right? I can go in here and I can make that happen. That'll make that go away. I refresh, speaker 4's gone. The add new speaker option kind of works. What am I missing at the moment? Well, add the new speaker, right? I go in here and I set this to be add new speaker. What does that actually do? Well, it dispatches, it sets the node markup, that sets the selected speaker to speaker underscore 4. In here, the data stores it as speaker underscore 4. Fine, all good, great. That then triggers a reload of the re-render of all of segment, of this segment, only this segment. Because its value changed. And so it re-renders the select and all of that stuff. Which means that it then has the proper value and it has speaker 4 in the options. The reason speaker 4 is appearing in the options though, because it doesn't appear for these ones, is because of this condition here that we looked at, where our segment speaker isn't in the list. And why is it not in the list? Because it comes from list.speakers. Now this is something I worked on a couple of episodes ago with ProseMirror. There is, as part of the editor, a blob of JSON somewhere up here, speakers value. And this holds the array of speakers. And you can see there is no speaker underscore 4 in this list. So I add this in here, but it doesn't necessarily add speaker 4 to that list up there. So it doesn't call any of these to update or re-render to add speaker 4 to their select dropdowns, which means that when I add new speaker, the only new speaker I can add is speaker 4. Adding new speaker here will set the value to speaker underscore new, and then it will change it to just still be speaker underscore 4. So that's why I set that. It doesn't do anything because the value is still behind the scenes is speaker underscore 4, but it's not going to re-render now. Hence, the second time it loads. So the other thing that happens when I make changes to anything in here, should I download with Ruby with dev kit or without? I don't know. I don't work on Windows. I would probably No, I reckon maybe the Odin project is probably a good place to start, because I think they'll have a whole project where you install Rails. Do they have Rails Windows? What's the... Who are they specifically? Installing Ruby, Linux and Mac OS. I didn't know that. The Odin project doesn't really give you Windows instructions. It's kind of annoying. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if I was on Windows, I'd probably be using WSL. I don't know if you're familiar with WSL. It's running Linux on Windows, but that might be opening a bit of a huge can of worms if you're not familiar with Linux. It's really good if you're familiar with Linux or Unix-based systems like Mac. But you should be able to. I think. I would recommend, I guess, follow this. Whatever this says. They say install Ruby installer, so I would just use this. I'd just go in here and download and... Oh, this is where the dev kit option is. I don't know what dev kit is. Sufficient to use it without dev kit for these update installations. Dev kit can be updated separately. Don't know which version to install. When you're getting started, we recommend you use the dev kit. Use the dev kit one. That's the simple answer. Okay. I don't know why I had these spaces. Right. So, the other thing that happens is once I set, when I make any changes in here, we have an autosave that then saves to the database. Transcription controller. Turbo_stream. Transcriptions update. We have this. I think maybe I need another turbo stream that updates the speakers. Which is what this does as well. So the idea there is we will trigger the autosave. That will save it to the server. The server will return back with a turbo stream. The turbo stream will update this section on the right hand side with all the speakers, which is already doing. That's how we get speaker 4. And then it will also update the speaker JSON. Speaker JSON will then get notified by the stimulus controller. That will then inject that JSON, that array of speakers, including speaker 4, into our ProseMirror plugin. Our ProseMirror plugin will then update all of the wrappers and make sure that they're all added in there. If I switch this back to speaker 3, remove speaker 4, I go in here, speaker 4 is gone. If I add a new speaker, speaker 4 is available now to all of the drop downs. If I go in here, add new speaker, this becomes speaker 5. Nice. I hate JSON files. They are very direct to me. JSON's not too bad. Not sure why 4 and 5 are like in a different order. Oh, because the order here is the order they speak, not the IDs anymore. Thanks, man. I know I'm not too bad. Is your name Jason? Yeah. Nice. Okay, cool. And then I could go over here and give speaker 5 a name, Bob or Jason. That's the joke. I get it now. Although I mean, it works better if it's clearer that your name's Jason. Because I just see you as Gaming Forever 65 and add new speaker. Oh, see, we've broken it. Ah, here is the problem. Here's the problem. So, again, this is every time I use the length, it's the wrong answer. It's always the wrong answer. It can't be the length. It has to be like an unused speaker ID, right? Because the problem is the length. I've got speakers 1 to 3. I created speaker 4. I created speaker 5. I deleted the segment of speaker 4, but we still have speaker 5. So now we have speakers 1, 2, 3, 5, which is a length of 4. They're actually speakers 0, 1, 2, and 4. And so when we do the length, what we're creating is speaker 4, because we only have 4 speakers, when actually we could have created speaker 3 and we could have created speaker 5. So what do I want to do? What do I want to do? Next, const next ID is, I can't use the speaker's length. And the IDs are not necessarily sequential. I don't know what that's just done, but we take all of the speakers, we reduce it to the speaker, and we work out the speaker ID for that speaker by splitting it and then grabbing the second part and then passing that as an integer. Then we return the speaker ID more than the accumulator. If it is, we'll return the speaker ID, otherwise return the like. So that just helps us create an kind of little function that then gets the next ID. I'm going to leave a comment in there. I don't normally like putting comments, I think, but the comment just makes it clearer what is going on here, because that is chaos. So now, Jason, we'll add a new speaker. Again, didn't work. Jason's gone. We'll add a new speaker. Again, didn't work. Add a new speaker. I'm gone. Where have you gone? Oh, here. Sorry, I'm slow. You're still there, look. You're still here. You're another participant. I'm really slow today. And I'm sorry. I can't get you back though. You're kind of there, but you're not an active. You're not in the room anymore. I don't know how to get you back. I don't want a page source. I want to view the console. I'm just shy. I'm just watching in the corner. Speaker. Next ID is free. +1. I mean, that code looks shoddy, but I said we were going rough, you know. Speaker 4. Speaker 5. Jason. Hey, you're back. You're back. And you asked Andy what his favourite part of all Rails World was. There we go, speaker 6. Speaker 7. Speaker 8. And I think what's quite good about this actually is it just it cuts down the speakers as it goes. It pops them in. Back to 6 again. I do wonder if I should notice that I could use speaker 4 and I'm not. You know, it's a bit chaotic, but it works. What did I do? I added one new turbo stream to update the speakers when the meeting changes. That makes sense to me. And then this ability to add speakers back in. We refactored that to add that list. We added this new speaker option, and then when you select that new speaker option, we just set the selected speaker to be the next ID. We've had a little comment to explain why we're doing some weird code there, because that is a little bit weird, but I mean, I guess something that might look a little bit better here, rather than this, is I could just return math.max. The same thing, surely. So if I went in here and added a new speaker, we get speaker 6. Also, I think we go in here and we do like +1. So we start at like 1 and then we're going to add a new one. We already have speaker 0. I wonder if I don't know what that wording was, but I wonder as well if we take that and then do the pass in like here. I think the passing made sense up there. I don't think, yeah, these are the options, right? So they don't have anything else. This DOS speakers is just that directly, yeah. And then when you update, I think we patch that in as well. Yeah, we do. It's not the worst, you know. Like this idea that you go in here, add new speaker, it just adds speaker 7. You go over here, give speaker 7 a name. It does the job for now. Sure, we could improve its implementation. We can refactor it later. Add ability to add new speakers. And that resolves... What does that resolve? That's issue 18. Resolved. You know what I mean? I wouldn't necessarily scoff at that. I mean, I was going for like a dodgy version of the code, but what is it? It's 31 additions, 6 deletions. We factor out the 6 deletions. It's what, 25 lines of code added. To be able to switch to add a new speaker. Not that much. And 3 lines of it is comments, you know. 4 lines of it is comments. Cool. I'm happy with that. I do need to solve this. So. Also, we now have the speaker that's not really there. There's also this other bug I have at the moment, which is if I go in here, Chris W, silence, he becomes a silent speaker for some reason. Oh. So I need to solve that because I don't know what's happening there. We are responding with a turbo stream, I believe. Speaker.segments. Delegate the transcription to the meeting. So for some reason there's no segments when we edit the person, the participant. Variable stream. When we are just rendering the speaker there, you know, we're replacing the speaker partial with the current speaker partial. The speaker takes in the meeting there from the meeting ID. I don't see why it would become a silent speaker. I guess probably want to add some sort of diagnosis to this. So perhaps we go to the underscore speaker and we could perhaps just speaker.segments. Or just speaker.transcription. That's a bit chunky because obviously there's a lot of data there. But anyway. Still the same transcription. Becomes an empty array. Speaker segment becomes negative. Is it because of this? But that doesn't really make sense. It does say select, you know, which means we do need to like include, like the meeting needs to include because we're delegating it. So I think what we're basically saying is in the speaker's controller, when we set the meeting, And this is the problem because now we're meeting scoped. Well, I suppose we could just say at meeting equals at meeting dot includes transcription because it's not it's got to be something like that. Actually, I can just go to speaker 0, right? And then it's a silent speaker because the problem is this is the same across all of it, right? Yes, and that it includes transcription. Yeah, here's the problem is because it doesn't includes transcription data. Association data was not named on transcription. Yeah, okay, fine. It's not segments. Segments are just in there, so as long as it's loaded, right? I don't know, maybe that's not the problem. Maybe there's something else. Maybe this ID is wrong. Puts segments ID returns the segments, and then also perhaps we'll just put some new lines, and then we'll be able to see it in here. And I don't think we need that. So I refresh this and then jump back here. Segments is empty. ID is 0. Why is segments empty? Transcription. Segment. Segment all from transcription. Takes the transcription. Maybe that's the problem. doubt. Proving to be more complicated than the other issue, which I thought was going to take a long time to resolve. I guess I could also do puts transcription.segments as well. So if I refresh this and then look over here, there are a ton of segments. Hi mate, what you broken now? Hey Bish, how's it going? Yeah, I broke some stuff, you know, the usual, just the usual. No, this speaker list on the right hand side, it shows me the timing information here on this view, but as soon as I edit it, the timing information gets lost unless I refresh. And so it's because that happens within a little turbo frame, so the way that data is loaded is different. I can replicate it by just looking at that one element. So that's what I'm looking at here. What I'm looking at here is what's loaded in that frame after you submit after you change the name of the speaker. And so it has the same issue where it says silent speaker and it shouldn't. And I'm just trying to figure out what's going on there. So I guess what's a bit weird, what am I actually doing here? What speaker underscore ID equals ID. Perhaps I could map this to the speaker ID, so I can just see same old stuff, finding errors, then being added to long meetings, resolve said problems. That being said, have someone asking me to call, be right back, no worries. The usual. The usual. Okay. There's 2 zeros in there. I've refreshed that. Switch back here, control B2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 6, and 7. Those are the speaker IDs, right? Calculate from the segments themselves. So why, when I call select on those segments and call segment.speaker ID, do I not get the segments? This is going to be a weird issue. Like, there's sometimes strings and sometimes not, you know. Let's just check that again. It's not showing me it here, but I'm pretty sure some of these are actual numbers and some of these are in certain circumstances. Right, 2i, there we go. There we go. It's the one line. Okay. Jim. Okay. Always something simple, you know. Fix. Missing speaker segment info. Cool. So now I can change these.
Finally.
Cheers, gentlemen.
It wasn't too loud. Cool, and then I can also add new speakers now. Speaker 8. Which replaces speaker 7. Which is interesting, and if I made it speaker 6, then added a new speaker, that would become speaker 7. Kind of flipped around that way. Nice. That solves that problem. So, when I refresh and we're at 0, 0, the manual text gets highlighted. It shouldn't be highlighted. So I need to figure out what I want to do with that. And also whether I should be able to add timing information to words. Like, do I right click? I don't know what the behavior there should be. I need to have a think about that. Oh, I just noticed it's a bit weird in here when you're at the end because the cursor is blinking there, but you can't really see it when it's like on that line. I guess it's in the next element or something, and so the Z index or something is a bit weird. You know, not a major issue. It certainly shouldn't be highlighted at 0 seconds because it's a bit weird. But perhaps it should be highlighted in some way. Yeah, I don't know how class ChatGPT. I'm building a transcription editor. Each word has tiny information, and it started being spoken and finished being spoken. Editors can add, replace, remove entire chunks of the transcription. How should I handle when editors add words or new? Should I also be given timing information? If so, how? This is kind of the question, right? I don't really know. It feels quite complex in my mind right now. It's not critical, but might be useful to add at some point. Okay. I'm going to build it back. Back. Oh, apologies about that. Where was we? We were trying to figure out what to do about manually inserted text into the transcription. It certainly shouldn't do this highlight. We should get rid of the highlight. And the reason the highlight's happening is because we have our word marker adding these marks. How does it decide? Not the word marker. The word marker is not at fault here. The highlight plugin is at fault. So these have at as start and at as end, right? The marks. So transcription, editor, controller. I need to just check here. So they can be null, right? If there is no word start or no word end return, and then we'll play the audio.
This is Remote Ruby.
Have you any remote idea to the meaning of the word?
I have like a bit of hair floating past my eye,
Yes.
like one strand, and it's really annoying.
Party. Yeah, we can close the door.
So that looks like it worked. So that solves that imminent problem that made it look weird. We just, if there's neither of those, then we skip. There has to be a start and there has to be an end. The next problem is like, do we estimate, because it's a bit weird if you write a big chunk and then it doesn't play the audio over it. And also, can you manually specify? I guess those are the kind of questions, right? Can you go in here and add in timing information? I don't suppose it really matters too much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we did it. We made it.
Oh, cheers.
Finally.
Cheers, gentlemen. Andy, what was your favorite part of all the rain?
It was just lovely to not have to fly across the Atlantic to a...
Okay. I guess we kind of just roll with the fact that they're null, you know? Like, doesn't have a major problem. It just means that over here, like, this doesn't quite work anymore. If that's the only person who's spoken and stuff like that, right? But for the most part, it's going to work, so... I think we do that. We're changing the music. That's what we're doing. I need something with a little bit more, I don't know, you know, something more. Something more. Oh. Something more. Something more. We'll go with this for a bit. We'll see what that's like. Now, I guess we fix this bug. Whether we do something more with it at some point, I don't know. But I think we've done what we need to do. fix manual text highlighting resolves 17. That is that resolved. Now, I do need to be able to do this. Edit and see the start time of the meeting. Which actually is going to require a bit more code than all of the things we've done so far. At the moment we click edit here and that's the only thing you can do. But I want to be able to kind of do the whole same form that we have here, but minus the recording upload. We need this meeting start time. That's confusing, you know, this back up here, you kind of go, oh yeah, back. And you're like, no, that's not what I wanted. But hey. I guess it makes sense to have the start time in that. Again, I did it again. Like that back is just a natural attractor for that kind of behavior of, oh yeah, okay, I move on. All works quite well. You can't add the listener back in. Okay, that's another little bug. Oh. That's because, I mean, I can see what that is. I really just need to refactor the participant logic, I think, at some point. Like participant list. I mean, participant list is probably not a bad shout. Yeah, like, what does participant list do? As other participants, right? As speakers. Meeting.participants minus the speakers map participant and then select the persisted. I wonder if there should be like a def all I think where the place was that transcription editor, like, I guess it's underscore transcription, right? Underscore transcription. Okay. Transcription form or show. It's the show, isn't it? Yeah. Speaker underscore list. What's going on here? So we create a new participant list and get all the speakers and then map those into that. So I think it might actually make more sense to go and then go something like on participants is equal to participant list dot speakers dot map, and then do something like participants dot map do I mean, really it's the speaker I want. I don't. I don't like it, but does it work? Outfielding computer says no. You know, it's still rotating around. No, yeah, makes sense. I mean, obviously, that was a dumb. So I can select listener now, but I can also select, you know, a dozen different options. Unique speaker ID, participant speaker index. It's just a bit weird how I grab the participant list to get the speakers and then add the meeting participants to that, because I'm kind of I don't like it also. I just feel like there's a bigger refactor to do here. Mm-hmm. Unique by the speaker. I feel like that bit probably makes more sense. But unique. Speak index. Oh, but then that has to be done on the entire thing. Like that. Now I can set that to the listener or the one speaker. It swaps those around. And it works. I mean, the problem is the participant list needs a refactor. That fixes the bug. I don't have appetite right now to do a big refactor, so fix speaker list. Trims. That'll do. You know, sometimes good enough is good enough, and alright, we're back to the editing and seeing the start time of limiting. I think I might leave that one for tomorrow, you know? We're coming up to the 3-hour mark. I've got some other little bits and pieces I need to sort out before the day wraps up. And so I might end it there. I'll be streaming tomorrow, so I think the plan is going to be to pick that up tomorrow. We'll add in the start and end time editing. You know, I think we're really narrowing down on the bugs. We are kind of doing the bug crunch, and I think we are crunching those bugs. I think once we get the editing of that in place, I think, yeah, we're gonna kind of mostly be there. And then I think we have the ability to do the gender as well. .txt. I mean, that one doesn't have any agenda, so that obviously doesn't work, but I found one with an agenda, which should be that one. I thought it was that one, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's the one further down. Yeah. That was a violent sneeze. Okay. Nice. I'm quite happy with how that worked out. Which means you should be able to basically go in here and get text. You can get text format. You can also get the .json format. Which actually isn't JSON. So, you know, I need to... What's going on there? JSON to pass. JSON.generate. Is that correct? There we go. That's now JSON. Fix output of transcription. I think as well, one of the things that would be good to do here is allow you to just download the original data. Which will be like that. What does that include? It includes stuff like the job name and the account ID and the status. I could just return the results. I don't need to return those bits. I don't know what's going on. Oh snap! I think the page just ran out. The big document there. Right. Fine. The Rails action. At the moment I'm doing the formats right. How's some rendering? That's where I am. Format. How do the variants work? Request.variant, I can add that to my method to then work it out. So I guess I could do that on here where it's like request.variant is equal to original if params original present, you know. Plus original. Well, I guess I could do original true, and I guess the idea here is the JSON, as much as it's gonna screw me up a little bit. Show.json. show plus original. Oh no, it's show.json plus original.erb. Original data results. So that is the Amazon version, and this is the regular version. Feature add ability to export original. Cool, and then we'll put this up tomorrow. There won't be a stream. Well, there might be a stream Wednesday. It depends really on the weather, because I plan to be flying on Wednesday, but I don't think the weather is looking like it's going to agree than the current forecast. But it looks like Wednesday may be bucketing it down all day. You know, it was looking okay, but now it's not. And even Friday's not looking particularly great now. I don't know, something I need to figure out, but hey. So yeah, plan will be tomorrow to crack on with adding the ability to edit and see the start time of the meeting. We'll get that sorted, get that added in, and then I don't know, we're kind of running out of issues, you know, we keep finding them, but they are drying up a little bit. Perhaps run through the flow a couple of times, adding in, uploading our audio and stuff like that, running through the transcription. We had a couple of friction points today we've resolved. We might see some more if we run through it a couple more times. And yeah, and I think we're getting close to one of the things I want to need to do is being able to export this, maybe even editing this, you know, this kind of view here. Have I created any of these recently? 2, 3. Let's generate these again. Again, I need a progress bar or something here because it takes a hot minute before it starts going for it. Cool. Yep, we're going to end it there. And then I'll be around tomorrow. That's the plan. See you tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out. Bye.